All right, as we get things started with the first draw control of the game, it's Maddie McDaniel and Natalie Salmonte. To get things started, out at Centera Park, about 62 degrees and cloudy, 8-mile-per-hour winds or so. So a beautiful day for lacrosse, as they would say. April is here finally, everybody. Those frigid temperatures hopefully are gone for a little while. We start with a little bit of a scrum for the first ground ball of the game. Ooh, picked up in a foul there, so we will have Towson taking over to start this one. Liz, what should we be looking for here as Towson starts to get things going?
You know, one, I think they're all going to get touches on the ball. I mean, as I can see right now, you have JMU in a zone. You know, they're looking a little bit man, but you can see some players on the arm. So Towson's going to just look to figure out what are we going to see? How are we going to play against this? I'm sure they've scouted them, so they know what they want to get their set in, but they need to get touches. And to be honest, if I'm Coach LaMonica, I'm taking some time off that shot clock.
And the JMU, their defense, with their backbone, something they can rely on. They're first in the CAA, 10 goals a game, 31st in the country as of right now. So that's something that they're going to lean on as they continue to figure things out on the offensive end.
Absolutely. I mean, these players know what each other wants to do. You can see right now they're passing off some players on the inside. They click really well with a strong goalie behind them. So, you know, JMU is going to be okay keeping them out. They're just going to look to try to limit any passes inside and really limit drives.
Like you mentioned, working the shot clock pretty deep now, 20 seconds to go. Towson looking to make something happen. Carrie Thornton up top, moving it around to the right side, then behind goal line extended. About 10 seconds to go now on the shot clock. Towson's going to have to get a shot off here at some point. Good defense so far from JMU. Getting it into the middle, turning and firing is Del Tuva. That one goes out as the shot clock expires. So first possession, a good one for JMU on defense.
Yeah, I think they did exactly what they wanted the first time. They got, you know, they didn't even get a strong shot off, so they really limited it. Now you're going to see JMU really look to push the pace downfield. And as you noted before, Shelly Clace wants her attack to feel good, get some touches, and take care of that ball.
And something else that she's touched on before is shot selection and sort of just figuring things out as they go. And they want to make sure that they're producing. They've had been producing goals against everyone other than the top 5 teams in the nation, she said.
Yeah, and part of that's confidence. You know, your younger players, your newer players to the spotlight have to feel good about their shots and taking it against a UNC just as they would against any other program. And they'll get there. I definitely think Coach, you know, Clace Balcom will give them the confidence and push them to do that.
With someone like Hannah Haven, who has the ball right now, a captain who's been so confident for them and was so big in that the tournament last season in that championship weekend. Jamie, looks like they're working it around quite a bit right now, too.
Yeah.
There it is, the shot and the goal to get things going. Casey Knobloch scoring for the Dukes. They get it going 1-0. Logan Brennan, excuse me, getting the first goal on the board. Her 22nd goal of the year.
Yeah, and seeing Logan, that's where she's comfortable. She's been doing great on the crease. She's taking those strong crease rolls, gets the goalie a little bit off center and just tucks it in that near post. Good shot right there. So I know this is exactly how Coach Clace Balcom wants to start off the day.
Yeah, the junior second on the team, 22 goals, 7 assists. Her number, the 28 is Casey Knobloch, in case you're wondering. So the numbers look a little similar from up here. The junior out of Kingston High School in New York getting things going for the Dukes. Second on the teams in goal this year. She has had 6 points twice this season, so she's been able to put up some big games. She had a goal on Friday night against Delaware as well, so she gets things started for the Dukes. 1-0, about a little less than 3 minutes in. Oh, you see Maddie McDaniel, so good at the draw control, and someone that Shelly Clace Balcom has really said they've leaned on. Hannah Haven getting a step towards the goal, gets deterred there a bit, but finds a teammate in Katie Chakowski.
I think that's one of those moments of taking a good possession, of making a good decision that, you know, Coach Clace Balcom was talking about. Hannah definitely could have taken it. I think she has confidence to score it, but I think this is a better decision to really slow the ball down, get some touches, see what the Towson defense is doing, you know, how they're setting up.
Yeah, she had a step there. Kelsey Reed works out at the top.
And you can see right here, Towson's doing a little bit of a hybrid. They got kind of a zone going on right here as they're passing off players, doing a nice job right in there. But at times it'll look like a man. So if you're watching at home, you know, it's something you'll see. There's times where they're all evened up, and there's other times that you'll see a rover right there in that middle.
that rover position that Tiana Wolfer played so well for so long for Towson. And they do get it in the middle.
Oh, wow.
And that is Charlotte Haggerty, the sophomore, getting the second goal of the game for the Dukes. 2-0. Her 14th goal of the season, her first on the afternoon.
I mean, Towson said they're coming in here. They know they have aspirations of a three-peat in terms of winning the conference championship, and they know it starts today. So they're coming in. They're going to come in hard. You're not going to see fear in any of the eyes of these these JMU players.
Well, what I liked about what Shelly Clays-Balcom, she was on LSN earlier this week and talking to us and saying, you know, Towson's the only team to ever have a three-peat in the CAA. She goes, we don't want Towson to have a leg up in anything in the CAA or in any sort of stats. So that's sort of another rallying cry. It sort of ignites this rivalry a little bit, too. I like that.
Absolutely.
Good start for JMU so far, 2-0. Two good offensive possessions. Like you said, Hannah Haven might have had that shot. She had a step on her opponent, but looks like they found a better one.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that. I think they want to get a lot of scores going on, you know, even including Maddie McDaniel, who's taking the draw right now and doing a good job. She got that self-draw last time, and that's something they're going to look to do every time. She's tall, and she really has a good reach.
Well, she picks up the foul there and gets things going, and really a talent that Shelly says they haven't had in the past at JMU.
Yeah, they've been more of a scrappy team on the circle, so they'll battle for it. But having a player with her height and her stature that can just toss it up to herself and grab it, I mean, it's awesome. And right now you'll see her going off. She's probably in a little bit of a fogo, just taking that draw and taking off.
Well, something I found interesting, you know, is last year we talked about everybody that they lost, and there was a lot of draw control. Everybody was able to get it around the circle, and McDaniel really filling that void of several players were able to pick up those draws.
Absolutely.
See flashing into the middle. That's Kelsey Reed just wide. JMU has the backup, though. Less than 5 minutes in, Tom Eschen here alongside Liz Robertshaw. JMU an early 2-0 lead against Towson, and other than that first draw, it's been JMU dominating possession thus far. That's Haven cutting in the middle. That defense from Towson providing a little bit of punch there. They've got really good defenders. We got Caroline Stanovich, who is #1 in the nation in caused turnovers right now along, Sammy Chenoweth, for Towson. Caroline Stanovich, also a solid defender on the James Madison side.
Yeah, and that was Sammy that actually got that ground ball. She crushes it with the hustle stats. So you're going to see her all over those plays, and that's what Towson needs. They need that defense to pick up the ground balls and the caused turnovers to give their attack as many opportunities down here as they can get.
They also have Olivia Conti, the captain and All-American on that defensive side. So they said that can keep them in games.
Absolutely.
That's what Sonia LaMonica told us. The defense can always keep them in it. Now we get to see them again on the offensive end. The Natalie Salmonti, the captain, who's played so well this year. Cutting to the middle. 3 Dukes swarm her in the middle there, but looks like we do have a foul. And we're going to get a free position out of it. It's going to be Salmonti on the 8-meter arc here. On the left hash, let's see if she can convert. See one more look. Looks like there was a push on the pass. And it's Salmonti, swarmed.
Oh.
Loses it a bit. And it looks like it's going to be JMU ball.
Yeah, she gets called for, even, you know, could be push, could be just going in there, but she's going to get called for going in the crease. So it'll be JMU ball coming out on a clear.
2 JMU defenders did a good job of swarming her, though, as well.
Yeah, they're not going to let in any easy goals. They know that Natalie is one of the best on Towson in terms of her free position scoring, so they have to get that jump.
JMU back with the ball on offense, and right there in the middle, it's McDaniel who comes out and scores as the midi, the captain. We're just talking to her about being a little bit of a get-off girl, but at this point, comes in and scores her 22nd goal of the season.
Yeah, it looked like, you know, off the draws, I think she might be changing sticks. It's a little tough with our vantage point, but you have to bring that stick off. But this is awesome. I mean, that's a great feed right there. Whenever a team's playing a zone, they're trying to get to their spots, they're trying to get set up, and this is where a team can be really deadly in fast break with some of those cuts. And you can see McDaniel, I have a feeling she's going to be changing sticks.
Katie Chaskowski with the feed there. That was a great assist.
Yep, there it is.
From X. And there is the stick exchange. Good catch there.
Thanks.
Yeah, McDaniel, somebody who Clay's Baucom have said that she's realizing she's bigger than everybody else, which I think is a good thing to do as you're a junior. And this year she's faster, more mobile, and really growing herself, as we saw there, into being more than just a target, dodging more than she's used to. And something that Shelley was really proud of, they haven't lost. They haven't had less than 10 draws since that first UNC game this season, so it's something they think they really felt like they shored up.
That's awesome, and that is confidence building in itself. I mean, even with the shot clock, you don't have to win the draw control battle to win the game, but it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, so far today, McDaniel's really done a good job in there. She's got, looks like 3 draws thus far.
Yeah.
Oh, some quickness there.
Little tight of an angle, little tight right there.
Logan Brennan taking it herself. JMU once again, though, has the backup.
Oh.
Brennan taking a little bit of contact. Here's Haven. Struggles a bit on the catch, but gets it back out. About 7 minutes in, JMU 3-0 lead. Here is Brennan in, getting it out up top. Haven looking over the middle, couldn't find anybody.
Towson's putting some good pressure on them. I mean, I think they're showing that they're here. They're not scared either, and they're going to put, unfortunately, check to the body. You're going to get some of those calls when you're putting pressure on it, but I have a feeling Coach Lamonica will take that.
We did talk with the coaches, and they said the officials say the CAA is one of the toughest conferences to officiate just because of how tough it is, like you said, the grittiness.
Yeah, as a proud CAA alum back in the day when George Mason was in the conference, I'm okay with that. I think it's great that this is a gritty and tough conference. It does mean that you're going to lose a little of that finesse in terms of, but you're getting scrappy play, and they're fun to watch games.
Nice pick up there by Shelby Stack on the cause turnover to get things going again for Towson. Recovering well from that foul.
Again, you can see Towson set up, JMU set up right now in that zone, looking for players in the middle. So it just depends on if Towson's going to take some time off the clock or if they're going to look for those inside cutters, which they've done twice now.
Yeah, we saw that on the first possession, and on their second possession, we did see a decent look on the free position, just was too much, and there it is in the middle. Falling.
Nice save.
A very nice save by Molly Doherty, and we've talked so much about her as just a sophomore. She has really turned a lot of heads, not only in the CAA, but on the national scene as well. CAA all-rookie, and she's also played with Team USA a couple of times now, both at the President's Cup and the Spring Premier.
Yeah, I mean, quick hands. She uses her body well. In there, you can see she came out, took that step out to cut down the angle. And again, she's a presence in cage. She's a confident goalie, and I think you'll be hearing her name for years to come.
The Tewaaraton Award watch list recently as well. There is Haven finding it in front and was a little bit wide.
She's got a rifle right there, so I don't know what that defender was, but I'm glad she ducked because that could have hurt.
She really let that one fly, you're right.
Yeah.
Nice dodge there, but a little bit too much congestion is another cause turnover for Towson. They can get something going on the offensive end. Looks like they're getting a couple more stops and finding themselves defensively.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely, like they said, this is going to build their confidence. I think right now you just, oh, that's going to hurt them. But you definitely want to see them get something started on the offensive end.
Clearing game a little bit sloppy. That's something that Sonia LaMonica said she wanted to see improve. Nice passing there, a little bit high there for McDaniel.
Off the crossbar. That is the goalie's best friend.
Along with the post as well, right?
Yes, I mean, anything that's painted in orange, she's feeling good about.
Exactly.
They might be bringing some personnel in, so you can definitely see them taking some time off and just kind of getting some touches here. I mean, you know, right now if I'm a defender on the field, I'm telling my attackers to take some touches. Let me get a break. I'm tired of seeing these white jerseys down in my face.
The first 10 minutes definitely dominated possession-wise by the Dukes. So
yeah.
Towson, like you said, taking some more time off the shot clock. That's what they're going to have to do anyway against this JMU defense. A little bit of a rush there by Thornton. Good movement. Shot is wide by Deltuva.
Turnover. All right. I mean, JMU is collapsing really well, and they're forcing Towson to take some shots that you can just tell they're not comfortable with. They don't have power on it. Their hands aren't free. And that's just something that is good for JMU, and I think if Towson can shore that up and get some quality shots, you know, you'll see them get back in this game.
But for now, it's JMU back on offense with possession. Looks like they're going to get some subs in and work it around a little bit. Start your lacrosse Saturdays with LSN College Central here on LAC Sports Network, beginning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern every week. We'll get you ready for all the biggest games of the weekend from around the country. Don't let your game day begin without checking out LSN College Central, only on LAC Sports Network. Saw a nice cause turnover once again by Towson, so turning the tide a little bit on the defensive end. We talked about Chenoweth already, but Olivia Conti, she's fifth in the nation in cause turnovers. So they have the bones back there to get things done.
Oh, absolutely. And that, again, that's something that if that can just transfer down to this end of the field and having that kind of just fearless attitude, or actually I like to say courageous attitude of just going and making a play. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think if we can get that down here on the offensive end, Towson, you're going to see that Towson, the results column change pretty quickly.
We've definitely seen the Towson with possession more in the last 5 minutes of this one, like you said. Thornton really keying things from up top now, just looking for an opening. Thought she had Salmonte on the left side there. Briefly.
She did, and that you're going to see that, especially in the zone, is that if you can get some drives going on, you're going to cause the zone defense to collapse or shift, and then you just got to move the ball. So I think that's something they can play. You can see that shift happening right there. It's just your other players need to know it, and they need to attack it a little bit more.
There's the cutter in the middle. Sails a little bit high. Looks like Towson does pick it up. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock now, so Towson's going to have to do some more penetrating.
Nice pickup right there by JMU to get it out.
A tough spot, tough catch there for the Tigers. But trying to get things going as the shot clock was winding down.
And not surprising, that was Caroline Stanovich who picked it up. I mean, again, ground balls, cause turnovers, that kid's everywhere.
Coming into the game, she had 103 ground balls this year.
Wow. Those are players that every coach dreams of. You're like, give me the kid who will get dirty, who will go and just pick up the ground ball. It's not glorious. It's not something that's written about in papers, but it's awesome.
Yeah, mid-season first-team All-American for a reason, and you know, a coach says she's not natural for her to be vocal, but that's something she's really grown into as a senior. And sometimes you see that with some athletes. They kind of come out on the scene a little quiet and then find some more confidence in that aspect.
Yeah, and I think you also get asked, especially from a coach like Shelly, you get asked to do it, and you don't really have a lot of choice. You start talking.
That's a good point as well.
Shelly says, talk, you talk.
There's another cause turnover by Shelby Stack, who's been playing very well in the defensive end. She's done that a couple times this afternoon, excuse me.
I mean, they're looking good bringing the ball up. I mean, I think from a turnover perspective, Towson's doing a nice job of bringing it up. This is the area they really need to focus on. I'd love to see Natalie right here take this drive and maybe find a cutter, but you need to see someone who's going to not just penetrate this zone defense, but get it moving and get the ball kind of shifting and spinning a little faster, and then someone needs to just rifle a shot. Really challenge Molly Dougherty down here. You need to do it.
The worst thing for an offense against the zone is just staying there, right? Just standing around. Like you mentioned, JMU has 5 turnovers today. Towson just 2. There's a shot.
Okay.
It's a little bit wide, but sort of mixing things up a little bit with less than 40 seconds on the shot clock now. There is Salmonte looking to get some work done. Gets it out up top to Thornton. It's Thornton again. She leads this team in assists this year with 9, so trying to find her teammates. And there is Salmonte, and through the middle, good help there by JMU.
She's looking for
5 seconds
crease work
to go on the shot clock. They're going to have to get something going. 3, 2. There's the pass to the middle, but JMU, that defense once again collapsing, and yes, the shot clock has expired. So JMU takes over, and big cheer now from the JMU Dukes fans who appreciate the defense they've been putting on so far.
I mean, halfway through the first half, and they haven't gotten any real quality shots on. That's great for defense. That's going to make them feel good, get them ready to go. You know, I think right now you're seeing a little bit of a lull on the JMU offense, and I'd love to see that change.
Bit of a
bobble right there.
Yeah.
Ground balls are tough. Sometimes you think the ball does not like your stick. Every player has felt that in a moment, unfortunately.
Especially when the Bermuda grass, as we were talking about, hasn't come in just yet. It's getting there. It's April, so we're getting there.
We're getting there sometime. Sometimes it's so funny seeing these fields compared to turf, where you're like, ooh, this is what a real field
where
looks like.
The turf is a bright green and almost hurts your eyes.
Yeah.
There looks like a foul on Towson. It's going to be on Meg Lynch.
Not a bad area to foul, you know, if it's going to happen kind of outside that 8 meter.
Take it on the hash on the left side.
Yeah.
Have to give her, the opponent has to give her 4 feet, everyone else 2. 4 meters, excuse me. Katie Chakowski. To see what she can make happen with less than 15 minutes to go in the first half. Finds Haven.
Again,
Gets
good
into the
decision
middle,
making right there. You know, it's a good feed in, a good opportunity. She should have the shot. This is, I think Shelly will be happy with this, that they're making some better decisions and not just kind of turning it over.
There is the shot.
Won't be happy with that one though.
Saved by Keating. Wasn't a particularly tough one, but
again, she knows how good that they can be on offense. So I think she's gonna tell them, hey, let's feel good about our shots. Let's really put it home and finish it.
well, I thought it was interesting when talking about how the CAA plays in terms of the defense and just the toughness, and that she didn't want to get too bogged down in that, and that she doesn't want to be sloppy. She wants to be the more polished team in the conference.
Absolutely, and you saw that, you know, with last year's team. They had some beautiful play, ball movement, dodging, shooting was gorgeous to watch. And it's going to take time for this team to get there. I mean, she's going to work them. She's going to do a good job from her whole coaching staff to get there, and they will.
See Salmonti moving a little bit up here on the left side. A little bit different angle as Thornton keys it from the top. Towson looking to get a few more cutters in there, maybe a few too many at that point.
A little crowded. I mean, I think the crease was looking to go a little bit, as well as inside players. That's just where, again, if you can get that drive going, like that's a nice cut right there.
Nice catch. Their goal line extended.
Oh.
Sun comes out a little bit, which is always nice. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Salmonti with a couple of defenders on her. She finds Thornton. Getting close to 10 here. Pass in the middle, very congested in there, and JMU once again swallowing it up. Sort of the same story for the offense and defense for both Towson and JMU.
I'd love to see them in one of these future possessions of taking a crease challenge and getting the defense to kind of come down and look for something. It is a little congested, as you notice, so they have to change that up, maybe take some outside driving lanes. But again, I think if they can dodge from X, from the crease, they may see some of those lanes really open up. And they have that ability.
Yeah. I mean, JMU defense is tough. They've got 3 seniors. They have Emma Johnson, a junior, who's been starting since she was a freshman. So there's a lot of experience back there.
Absolutely.
We talked about some of the experience they lost. That's the experience they brought back.
And it shows. The way they play, I mean, they're picking up every ground ball. They're covering seams. They're doing a nice job in there defensively. And so is Towson right here, causing another turnover.
Nice caused turnover there by who else but Olivia Conti, the junior captain. Very nice play there. Second team All-American, first team preseason All-American going into this season. 6 turnovers so far for JMU on the offensive end.
We got somebody with a timeout right now.
Yeah, and you know, it's something to be said for being the all-time winningest coach in JMU lacrosse history. Something to be said for that.
Yeah, she's proud of that, and she's earned it. It hasn't been easy, but she's definitely worked for it.
We take over after the Towson timeout, and looking like they're moving things around a little bit faster right now. It seems that might have been the message from Sonia LaMonica.
Yeah, and as we talked about before, they've put 1 in the middle rather than 2, although you're going to see some people slip and cut.
There's
That's
the
a nice
slip.
look.
The Thornton, who just couldn't gather it fast enough to get a shot off.
It was just too stagnant with just the 2 in the middle. Now they're doing some of that, but I think they're doing a better job of opening up that middle for cutting lanes.
And moving the ball around much faster. It feels like they turned the dial up a little bit. A little more energy. Sometimes timeouts can do that,
yes,
can't
definitely.
they?
A little fire from the coaching staff.
Ooh. Tried to get it in there to Deltuva, just didn't work out once again. Looks like there's a foul on the ground ball, so JMU's going to take over once again.
And that was a better look. Obviously, still didn't connect and finish, but as LaMonica said, it's going to take some time to to get that finishing look. But it was definitely a better offensive set.
Something that LaMonica reiterated, she said that they have a great spirit on this team, and despite some of the ups and downs, their downs might have been even worse if they didn't have such a good attitude on the sidelines, in the locker room, and in the weight room, everything. It's
impressive when a coach can say that about their team and keeping the spirits up, when you're not having the best season. That's huge. I give credit to the coaching staff and their seniors and junior leadership.
There's Haven, who just barely picked it up there along the end line, and then into the middle, just a little wide from McDaniel. She's a big target in there, like we said, and Towson does have the backup, so they will take over. clearing something to watch for Towson, something that LaMonica told us they need to do a better job of, and so far they've done a pretty good job of it. They've only failed on one clear thus far, 7 of 8.
They look confident. I mean, they do look good. They typically, they'll run the ball up a ways. They'll look for that last second hit. But they look confident. It wouldn't be an area that I'm looking being like, whoa, I'm unsure. But I think they're doing a nice job so far in that respect.
See if they have that same intensity on the offensive end here. It's like that pass came to Salmonti a little bit later than Liz is reacting in the box here.
I'm like, hit it.
The foul looks like we're going to land on the 8-meter arc for a free position.
Nice. And one thing you'll see this year that's new is that they do have this, there's kind of a line from where the circle of the crease cuts through the arm of the 8-meter. For you non-lacrosse players, it's not tough to, it's not easy to notice. But what you're seeing a lot in games that you're watching are players that are running to get position there. You've seen a lot more goals scored from passes.
It is Liucci who takes a shot at it. I like the aggressiveness off the post. And after a ground ball, it bounced all the way out.
Offsides was called. A defender came over, made a touch on that ball. Unfortunately, bleeding offsides for a turnover. But that's the kind of shot Towson needs.
Off the post, that's about as close as you can get. It's the closest
It's
Towson's been thus far,
there.
They do have only 2 shots on goal thus far this game. JMU offense, 48th in the country this year, 12.9 goals a game, a little under 13. Second in the CAA.
Oh, nice.
They're good defensive play.
Chenoweth.
Man.
She's got that stick up, you know, and if you're a little lazy on perimeter passing, this kid's going to get it. She's done a nice job right now.
And we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we talked about their defense, keeping them in this game, and while their offense has sort of tried to figure things out, it's been that Tigers defense which has kept this at a 3-goal deficit, as JMU's had an opportunity here or there, but at the same time, as it hasn't been clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, if I'm the Towson defensive, you know, the coaches in general, but if I'm defensive coach, I'm feeling good about the start of this game. Not letting JMU get away with it with the amount of possessions they've had.
Get to Towson on the offensive end here. There is Thornton. Trying to pick her spots here to find an opportunity for Towson to get on the board for the first time, and Salmonti picks it up. 30 seconds to go here on the shot clock, about 7.5 minutes left in the first half. Ooh, Salmonti almost had an opportunity there. Defender lost her stick. Here's Salmonti.
Two-man game.
Gets the pick.
Still a little crowded in the middle. That's a great
nice
look.
pass, and the score for Carrie Thornton. What a pass, what a look there from up top to Thornton down low.
It's actually Lizzie Fox. I know it is Carrie Thornton. Sorry, you're right. You're right on that. I was switched side. But that's awesome. They got the movement in the middle. While it was a little crowded for a dodging lane, they got all those defenders to pull up in the middle where they've been feeding all day to a wide open Thornton.
That pass was unbelievable. And you can kind of see maybe that's something they had talked about in the timeout that could be open, because they've sort of dragged the defense. Their eyes were on Salmonti, and Thornton sort of popped right there at the doorstep and scored.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of coaches notice. It's something that I know we talk about a ton when I was coaching, is that you have some soft spots in zones. Zones are going to have soft spots on the elbows, the kind of the corners of the 8-meter, as well as crease, because zones have to cover middle and they have to cover the ball. So the fact that Towson found that, if they can expose that even more, I think they're going to continue to see more scoring looks.
Yeah, so JMU up 3-1. Towson cutting into that lead, getting their first goal of the game. Always good to sort of open up things, open up the lid, as they say.
Yeah, they'll feel good about that.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of that. You can breathe now.
Yeah,
you can breathe. We got one. Now let's get going.
As we know, against Johns Hopkins earlier this week, Towson only scoring 3 goals in that game. It's only 2 in that first half, which was their fewest of the season thus far. So hoping to not repeat that feat.
Yeah, that's one of those things you're saying, let's not do that again. Let's not take that from the last game and go forward.
They're trying to lean on the positives, as Sonia LaMonica told us. There's McDaniel once again. She picks it up. She's six feet tall, so has that a little bit of the reach advantage and even can get it on the ground too, which is nice. A little bit unsettled here, but looks like JMU is going to settle things down. See, Hannah Haven had her arms out there saying to settle things down.
Slow it down, slow it down. Well, they didn't have numbers. You know, Towson dropped back again to get into their zone. So when you have that, if you can move the ball quickly, you're going to get some striking looks, as they saw with one of their goals from McDaniels. But if not, you just want to slow it down, get your feet underneath you, and get the look that you want.
And Haven, definitely a leader. And a coach told us even in the stat column, she said you can see that she's a leader from there, but also it's a natural thing for Hannah to sort of be that on-field general.
And you can tell the team responds. They look at her, she says something, they do it, and that's huge for a coach to have.
She had 6 goals and 2 assists in championship weekend last year. It's a big reason of why they won it all.
Yeah. I mean, she's a lefty, and she just plays with such, like, just a grit and a strength where if she wants a goal, you know it. She's going to take it. She's going to rip the shot, and she is fun to watch. I think she's learning to work with different players. Now she's the spotlight, where for last year you had 4 players that really took the best defenders all the time, so she could get open more.
10 seconds to go on the shot clock. JMU looking to get things going. Looks like another good defensive stand by Towson. That one is wide with 3 seconds left. 2-1, and they're going to kind of sit it behind there, and yes, they will turn over to Towson.
And who else gets the knockdown but Chenoweth? I mean, her stick is up. She's great.
Fun to watch for sure, yeah. So Towson looking to cut into that lead once again. 2-goal game, about 5 minutes to go in the half. And finishing the half, it looks like with a little bit of the momentum right now after another nice stop on defense, the Tigers.
Yeah, it'll be good to see what they do down here on this offensive set. If they can get another good look, then I think they'll feel even better going in to halftime.
Nice pickup. Oh.
All right. But JMU is feisty. There's no way that this team's going to make it easy.
JMU will retain possession on the foul.
Just dangerous check, probably check into the body. It was crowded right there.
That physical play, one of the tenets of being part of the CAA right there.
Yeah, we used to say, you know, if you don't like to get hit, don't play in our conference. In the CAA, I'm not going to lie about that. So it is something it's a tougher breed, you know, but it's also something that they're proud of it. They're proud of how they play. I think the finesse will get there, to be honest, the longer these kids are playing, but
it is young. The conference seems to be a little bit younger than it has been in previous seasons, just across the board for the most part. We see some seniors here and there and some upperclassmen, but sort of teams rebuilding, figuring themselves out, especially as we're early in conference play.
Yeah, a lot of the teams are dealing with that. So, I mean, on the positive, that kind of puts them on the same boat. And right now you can see it in this game. You have veteran defenses on both sides, and you have younger attacking. That's why the score's, you know, we're sitting here at 3-1.
A CAA score for sure, 3-1. Not like some of these games, the ACC, where it's 18-16 and all that.
Yeah, I'm like, is anyone playing defense? What's happening right now?
I like this. I don't mind this at all. Got some toughness involved.
Yeah.
Not that they're not tough. I'm just saying this is a little tougher. Salmonti surveying the field. Nice dish there. Nice move inside and little high.
Julia Porter right there. Yeah. I mean, she's held it a little long.
There is Salmonti.
Nice save.
She does find a little space, but another great save low there by Dougherty.
That was a good set for them. They got 2 quality looks on cage. I definitely think Julia Porter in there could have taken it a little sooner. She held onto it a little bit long. Just get her hands free and take that shot and challenge Molly a little bit in cage, but hey, they got 2 good looks, and Natalie's starting to come alive a little bit more in the crease and taking those driving lanes.
As you saw, 3 saves so far for Dougherty. 3 minutes to go now in the first half. JMU leads 3-1. Tom Esch and Liz Robertshaw with you.
Timeout.
As we have a timeout here for JMU. Shelly Claes-Baucom wants to talk things over. And with their timeout, I mean, it's a good time to talk about JMU, who won, as you know, their first NCAA title in program history last year. It was a run that was pretty special for the most part. They finished the regular season with a record of 18-1, defeating Towson for the 2nd time in the year, 16-10 for the 11th CAA title, their 11th CAA title, and then that Final Four, beating UVA 15-12, Florida 11-8, and then that Final Four beating North Carolina again 15-12, and then that Boston College team 16-15 for the program's first NCAA title. What do you remember about that run?
Oh my God. I mean, one I was cheering for, I'm not going to lie. Cheering for Shelly, cheering for that team. They were just a team on a mission. BC was playing outstanding lacrosse. So was UNC. So was Maryland. Stony Brook having a banner year.
Yeah.
But there was something special about this team is that they were the team no one was talking about. They're like, oh, they got this win. Oh, yep, they're still here. And I think they took it personally. You know, I saw some of the locker room stuff. I talked to Coach Claes Bauckham, and they're like, you're not going to respect us? We're going to go win it all. And they did. And I just think in that game, watching them play against BC, it was a back-and-forth game. And you could just see in every one of the faces of those JMU players and coaching staff that they weren't going to be stopped. Like, they didn't care how they got it done, if it was pretty, if it was ugly. They just went for it, and you could tell. I mean, there was a moment in the game last year where they scored a goal, and I thought to myself watching, I'm like, here it is. Like, they're going to win this game. Which was really exciting.
It's really cool, and they sort of taken on the personality of their coach in that aspect. I know we talked a lot about Shelly Claes Bauckham today, but there's a good reason for that, and that JMU took on that personality and really represented the CAA in the way it should be, I feel like, in that Final Four against, like we're going to talk about later in this program, just about sort of the persona of the CAA compared to some of those blue blood schools or name brand schools.
Right, and that's something that Shelly also talked about, trying to instill in her players, that winning mentality, that mentality of, you know, we can do this. You are a great player. You are a champion. Something that she wholeheartedly believes in herself, as well as every player she recruits to JMU. And I think, you know, with younger players, it takes longer for them to believe that. Maybe they see a UNC and they're like, oh, that's UNC, instead of saying, no, we're JMU. Come at me. And she will instill that in them. And last year, she got every ounce of swagger out of that team, and she brought home a trophy.
I like that. Swagger's a good way to put it. Perfect. You saw their halftime coming up here, Lacrosse Now here on LSN, the Lacrosse Now halftime show. Look at yesterday's action, more of today's scores around the CAA as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that during the halftime period. As JMU takes over with less than 3 minutes to play, coming out of the timeout with a 3-1 lead. A little bit of an opening. Turned away, though, is Kelsey Reed. There's Haven.
Geez.
Yeah, she got hit a little bit
Check
there.
her on the head. Yeah, a little dangerous right there.
Dead. Take it on the left hash.
Tough angle right now.
Official making her take a step back.
Yeah.
Got to fight for every inch, don't you?
Exactly.
Less than 38 on the shot clock right now. See what Haven can do with this free position.
I think she's looking around seeing. Is she going to pass it? She's going to take that. She's going to take it.
Take it herself, and she scores. It's Haven. 4-1 JMU, the captain senior from Syracuse, New York, with her 24th goal of the season.
One of the nice things you just saw right there for anyone that's looking for details, Hannah Haven went in, she went hard, but then when she finished her shot, she tiptoed around the crease and didn't go in it. So many goals are called back for players following through into the crease, and you'll see right as she finishes it, she tiptoes right around the outside, therefore making that goal count. That was an awesome play by a veteran attacker.
Not everyone can do that, can they?
No, it's tough. You know, all these people are collapsing on you, and it's challenging. You just naturally just want to go forward. Unfortunately, and I see it all the time, that's what gets that goal called back, and that's a finesse skill that Hannah Haven has right there.
You can see her. She leads team in all the categories. Assists, goals, points, and for good reason. She's been doing it for a long time as a senior, really taking over, like we mentioned, with some of those losses at the top of the program. And she's really taken that mantle and really been a leader.
And the players look to her. You know, I think they feel confident when she has the ball. When she goes to shoot it, they don't question it. And that's what you want in one of your leading attackers. Daniel again. McDaniel
again. And she's really, I mean, we talk about her length a lot, but she's actually really good, too, at just tracking the ball down.
Yeah.
She's very scrappy in there.
It's definitely a skill. Those players, you know, I see it on every team. If you have a draw specialist, they spend hours working on it. They do it before practice, after practice. They're constantly doing wrist, hand-eye coordination. I mean, it's not just, oh, I show up on game day and I'm good at the draw. Like, every player, no matter what team, if you're a specialist, you're called that for a reason.
Yeah. There's something off the ball here.
3 seconds.
3-second violation, so JMU will take over from the arc with a free position.
In zones, 3 seconds does tend to get called a lot, especially if you have your rover. Aaron Williams has been inside the middle, playing that roving position, looking to pick up cutters, and unfortunately get a 3-second call.
Here is Logan Brennan, who does go low. And who wins the race? It is JMU. I wasn't sure there for a second. That was pretty close. Less than 2 minutes to go here. There is Haven. Looking over the middle, and then the ball sort of bounces away.
Olivia Conti with a nice little bounce, interception, cause turnover. She'll take it, whatever it's called.
That's a tight space with Olivia Conti in there.
Yeah.
Minute, 90 seconds left. Towson looking to cut the lead to 2. If they get a shot here early on and see if they can get another one. Probably just looking for a good shot here. Don't have to worry about the shot clock and whittle it down a little bit, obviously, but they want to get things going in the flow of their offense.
Movement's good. You know, you got some nice cutters in there, so they're getting a little bit crowded. And I think what they learned from their goal is they want to stretch it out a little bit. That's a nice look.
There is Thornton in the middle, and she does get hit.
That's a situation in you really want to see women's players do it more often, catch and release. You see it in the men's game all the time. It's just a catch and a quick release, and that's something that you definitely want to look for. Here in the free position, as we were talking about, you have players jockeying for position, so they're trying to get that lowest spot, making sure they don't have an easy opening for a feed.
Yeah, one more look at that. It was high and with the stick and within the circle of her head, and Thornton does take it right to the net and gets fouled as she's going there, so it looks like we'll do it all over again. .48 seconds to go here in the first half. JMU up 4-1, but Towson with an opportunity here in the free position with Caitlin Thornton, the sophomore out of Stony Brook. Once again, Thornton with the shot, bouncing it in there, and just wasn't enough. It looked like it got deflected a little bit.
Yeah, it might have, and then I also think you realize real quick when you're playing on grass, you don't get that same bounce as you do on turf.
That's a little, yeah, it's very true.
It dies sometimes. You're like, yep, well, that bounce shot
especially
didn't
right
happen.
in there in front of the goal where it's a
Absolutely.
little bit more padded down and overused, I guess.
Absolutely.
25 seconds to go here in the first half. JMU looking for one last shot at it to try to increase their lead heading into the locker room. Ten seconds to go. There is Haven. She's the person to give it to. And once again, she'll have an opportunity from that 8-minute arc.
Shooting space call right there on Meg Lynch. You know, I appreciate that Hannah Haven didn't just turn and fire it. I'm always happy when an attacker takes it seriously and doesn't just turn and not look, because you can really hurt someone in there. So I'm proud of her for doing that. 8
seconds left. Haven taking it to
Nice.
the cage and scoring. 5-1 JMU with 5 seconds to go in the first half. Haven getting her second goal of the game.
Nice free position shot. I mean, goes in a couple steps, hard shot.
She's excited about that one, you know. I like it.
Yeah, she's a strong shooter. You know, she's feeling this game right now, and it's awesome.
You definitely see the influence she's had on the entire offense, and her aggressiveness is really paying off for JMU and helped them. And the points in the first half where they struggled a little bit on offense, were a little bit discombobulated, and she's been able to sort of guide them into scoring 5 goals here in the first half. 5 seconds left.
And JMU is going to be happy with how this half is finishing on the offensive end. They're going to continue in defensively too, holding Towson to 1. I think Towson at halftime is definitely going to need to have those conversations. Okay, what are we doing well? What can we build on? And we need to get some points on the board.
Yeah, the Towson's fewest goals in the first half all season long. They only have 1. They had 2 against Johns Hopkins last week. And yes, it will be McDaniel once again. Looks like she won the draw, but we have an official timeout.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what's going on. A little breezy, so it's.
I think they started the clock early. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Is usually whenever an official goes over to the table, it typically has something to do with the clock. Yep, put 5 seconds on.
Reset it to 5 from 2, so we'll do it again. See if McDaniel can get one more. But it is Towson, and the time runs out. So, Our score at the half at Centera Park, 5-1. James Madison leaving the Towson Tigers. That's a good way to put it, personality, and sort of the type of athletes that are here. Maybe they say they go and recruit at a field with, maybe some name brand, as they call them, programs are at, and maybe those athletes will go to the name brands, but then they get the blue-collar athletes that are going to work hard and really pay dividends at the end.
Yeah, they're looking for the kid that's going for the ground balls, the kid that's going for the draw controls. That, like I've said it before, gets a little dirty and doesn't faze them, and that's definitely a CAA type of kid.
And we do have Towson taking over possession to start this first half in our CAA game of the week. So 5-1 JMU, and see if Towson can come back and make this a game, which I think 4 goals seems like a lot, I feel like, but if Towson can get a couple of goals, they're right back in this thing. They are working it around a little bit faster, and they do pay for that, as we have a caused turnover as here at JMU is off to the races.
That was a nice play down there by JMU. They're definitely moved a little bit further into their man, which is solid.
They do move it around, maybe a little bit too much passing, I feel like, on that fast break. As Lizzie Fox started it, got around to Logan Brennan, who I thought might have an opportunity there, but JMU is able to pull it out and get a good possession after securing that ground ball. JMU trying to find some offense here after causing the turnover, the first possession of the half. Here's Haven looking over the middle. Nice catch there by McDaniel. Smart to not shoot it because she was not in a good position to.
No.
Oh, and looks like another turnover on James Madison. That one was an unforced one.
Yeah, a little frantic on this set. I feel like, they were moving it around. They were looking for some different things. They saw some, but it just wasn't necessarily I don't think it was their best set to start the half, but they'll settle down. I mean, this team showed towards the end of the first half that they really settled in, got the looks they wanted, and capitalized.
Towson can get something going here. They're moving it pretty quickly here. Like to see someone like Natalie Salmonti really take over in this half and sort of take more of a penetrating role.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Shelby Stack, just some of the players right now, and there's Shelby, actually.
Shelby getting hit. Don't know. I think she's okay. Nice sportsmanship there by Dougherty, helping her up in front of her crease. I know those goalies are pretty territorial when it comes to their crease, so nice gesture there.
Absolutely. Yeah, push to the body. You're going to have hits from both players.
She was tiptoeing that line, so I wasn't sure if she got in there or not, but it looks like she was obviously pushed in. It's like Stack's going to take it at the arc. The junior out of West Hill High School in Syracuse, New York.
Even though it's a tough angle, I think I would expect her to take this, knowing that they need to get some points on the board, so we'll see.
Stack, who does take a look at it. The bouncer is a little wide, and it falls into the stick of Dougherty. And Stack as a midi, Sonia Monica talked about this. They've had sort of a different midi step up in each game, and I think that might be something they need right now is someone to step up, especially in that midfield, and like we said, with Salmonti at the attack.
Yeah, that's, I think, part of been the consistency problem that, Coach LaMonica brought up is just they don't know who those players are going to be. And while sometimes it's great because it means you can have anyone be a threat, at other times when you have youth on the field, it means everyone's looking for somebody else to do it and take that chance, because sometimes it's a fear of failure. Sometimes it's I don't want to mess up, but, they'll get there. It's just going to take some time.
And you talk about not knowing who's a threat. I mean, we know Haven has been the cornerstone of this JMU offense, but that's also something that Shelly Claes-Baucom says about her own offense, is that she likes sort of their spread-out attack and that they're very tough to game plan for. There is the pass in the middle, and it looks like a little bit of a struggle catching that one there by Kelsey Reed. Caught it where she not in the stick, I guess, is one way to put it.
Yeah, one way to put it. No, it's good. I mean, I feel like that was something Shelly definitely said, is that they have a lot of goal scorers. They have a lot of threats, and it's proving today. Hannah Haven, Maddie McDaniel, Hallie Dunkel, Logan Brennan, they're all threats, and so she doesn't feel you can stop just one of them, and that's huge for JMU.
One thing stopping them seems like some of those turnovers that Towson's causing. And there is a shot and a save by Dougherty, but picked up right there in front. The ball bouncing around, right through the legs. Now we're along the out-of-bounds line. We have a little bit of a scrum for it and a whistle.
Empty stick check on JMU right there, so Thornton's going to get it back. But that was a good take.
Oh, good shot there by Thornton, and then right in front is Liucci. Picks it up and just, she had so many defenders around her, it was tough to gather.
And if you're noticing us saying Thornton a lot, we're not misspeaking. There are a bunch of sisters on this team, so we definitely had two of them right there, Carrie and Caitlin, that were involved in that play.
That was Carrie along the end line there trying to corral it in, which she did a nice job of and actually helped keep possession for Towson in the situation. Those hustle plays important.
Huge, huge in a game like this.
The Thorntons, a pair of 4 sets of sisters on this team, on the Towson team alone. So there's 8 of them.
I mean, you know, Sonia said it was great. You know, there's a little bit of family drama, but nothing crazy. But that's a lot of sisters.
They did allow the play to continue and the shot to get off there by Salmonti, who was a little more aggressive. Yeah, so we have the Thorntons, the Lynches, the Hobbs, and the Liuccis, which is incredible. And they, like you said, they're very competitive, line up against each other in sprints, and you can see that come out. See Molly Dougherty now with 6 saves, really a presence in there, and yet another turnover for JMU. A 5-1 game, about less than 25 minutes to go now here in the second half. Sort of a back and forth battle to start.
Oh, take it.
Oh, there it.
There's shooting space right there. That's a great look.
Yeah.
Good fast break transition right there. You know, I think if Towson can do this a little more often, they're going to get themselves back into this more quickly. But that's a good look, good call by the referee right there, and kind of making sure no one gets hurt.
It looked like Lauren Duval sort of found herself in no man's land. It is Carrie Thornton now from the right hash in the 8-meter arc. She's going to go right to the cage and gets deflected over, but does have a teammate right behind there, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, it was a good stick right there by Stanovich, but it's a great job for Towson getting the ball back.
Stack up top there. Now Towson working it around a little bit. Liucci behind, it looks like.
I think we're in a 3 seconds call right here.
Whistle and another 3 seconds call.
This looks good for Towson. This is faster play. They've gotten more shots off right now in just the first 5 minutes of this game than they did.
Creating a lot more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guessing if, you know, Coach Lamonica was just say, you got to go. You got to take chances because we're not going to win this game if we don't take shots. So let's go out there and let's push it.
Here is Salmonti. Officials getting things set, moving some players around. Senior captain will take it over from here. She does go right to the cage and finds it and scores. Natalie Salmonti, the captain out of Levittown, New York, makes it 5-2 now. Towson on the board for the first time in the second half.
And it was good stick protection. You know, Salmonti's quick. She's got a good jump. She gets in front of those defenders. As they're going for those checks, she does a nice job of protecting the stick, you know, and putting that low shot in.
And Sonia Lamonica says that she's someone that provides that spark. She penetrates very well. She's a captain, and she's a senior. She's a highlight for this team, and she's someone that can help them when it comes to big games, big moments like this in the second half. A leader on this team, especially as you see there in the stat column as well, in goals and points. And you can see she is the scorer. She's someone that's going to finish.
And they need that. They're going to need more and more of that as they get through this conference play. You know, I hope that she continues to get that confidence. It's been more challenging this year. You know, they've had some injury. They do have youth. So a lot more has been put on Natalie Salmonti, which maybe wasn't there in the past because there were more people around her. But the more she takes those chances, the more she goes to cage, she's just going to feel better and better about leading this team.
JMU winning the draw control here. And I think it's important to bring up now is the scheduling here in the CAA, because over the course of the season, they do, this conference season, rather, they do Friday and Sundays for almost all of the teams on a weekly basis. And JMU, a part of that with playing Delaware on Friday, Towson with the one team that didn't have that double back-to-back. But Shelly Clays-Baucom telling us that it really is an opportunity to almost practice for the Final Four. They felt like they had an advantage because they played that way all season long.
Yeah, she said it was a situation that it's really tough when you first get into it because you're tired. You know, it's hard to prepare for both teams, and it's tough to get ready, but it all paid off when it gets to the NCAA tournament and you're playing Friday, Sunday, to the national championship playing Friday, Sunday. You got to get your legs used to playing 2 games in a weekend, and she really credits the CAA for preparing them for last year's championship run.
Here we have Kelsey Reed on a free position at the 8-meter arc after a foul. JMU trying to respond, and it's Reed going right to the cage, and she scores. 6-2, JMU, the junior out of Sterling, New Jersey, scores her 8th goal of the season.
That was a great free position. She got a jump. She was in there quick. You'll see it when we go to the replay.
Right off the blocks.
Oh my gosh. She got in there, and you'll see her. She kind of blows right past those Towson defenders and takes a strong shot. That was a great free position right there.
A junior and a captain, and you can see her. She beat everybody to the spot. She beat everybody at the spot. And you were just talking about that turnaround between the Friday and Sunday. And last year, something that they didn't have as many middies that can contribute as they do this year. So running 5-6 middies is something that they think they're better at this year, which is important for a team that won the national championship last year if they can get to that point.
Yeah, you need the legs. I mean, the middies, that's something that right now coaches are definitely recruiting. They're looking for people that can run coast to coast, people that can take those spots. Playing Division I women's lacrosse now, it's a track meet with the shot clock, or sorry, the possession clock, as we call it. But it's a situation where you need those middies that can run. And when you play Friday, Sunday, having those legs, especially if you're taking bus trips, if you're playing 2 games in a weekend, you need it. JMU bench is feeling it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you were talking. I got distracted.
We got the dance moves on the
some
side.
Moves. I didn't know what was going on. Well, that's something else about that program in JMU. They keep it loose, but when it's time to hit the field, they have their game faces on. And I know that not every program operates that way, but it works for them.
Yeah, it definitely does. And they can still bring their personality on the field, but they are competitors. You see that? To be honest, I think you see that in the best teams.
And some of the best athletes as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the zone, you're in the moment, as they say, and you're just enjoying the moment and enjoying this game in particular, which is what it's all about.
And that's actually something, Shelley Claes-Bockham said. She goes, I want my players to get lost in the moment, lost in each other, and just enjoy every moment they have. And you can see her players do that.
JMU taking over after winning that draw control, looking to add on to their 4-goal lead, the lead they started the second half with. Each team with a goal to start in the first 7 minutes of this second half. Little short pass there inside. Pick up, and yeah, it looked like it was up near the head there. That's Logan Brennan. Beneficiary of the foul.
Yeah.
Get a good start here. Tough catch on the move.
These are definitely some of the turnovers that, Claes-Bockham is not going to be liking. And they'll tighten them up as they go through the season, but some of these passes just need to be on the money. And again, I think you see some players that are thinking, what's next? Am I going to shoot it? Am I going to pass it? And then they forget the catch first.
Those are 2 experienced players. That's Brennan to Kelsey Reed. So, it's not just the freshmen or the sophomores, but an aggressive play there by Stack, looking for the shot. She does have a backup.
Yeah, Thornton back there behind the cage has done a great job of backing up the line, giving them second and third chance opportunities.
Chris Salmonte. Getting a pick is Thornton, who finds Salmonte again, trailing.
Ooh.
She gets hit as she shoots. So everybody ends up on the floor, but quick restart. Really nice save there by Dougherty in front.
Stick side high is going to be a tough one. It's a great challenge. I think everyone was expecting a foul to be called, and then it didn't happen. But that was a great dodge right there from Carrie Thornton behind cage. But shooting stick side high against Dougherty is not going to get it done.
Aggressive, just
yeah. It's a great dodge.
Yeah.
She should be taking that all day.
Yep.
Just looking for a different shot finish right there, and she'll have it. You can see, I think JMU is going to try to slow it down a little bit. Towson has definitely brought the pace on offense. And having a turnover down here at the last set, I think JMU would like to possess the ball a little bit and get a good quality look.
Taking the shot clock in half right now, about 40 seconds to go.
Did a nice job on that elbow, getting shooting space right there, getting Olivia Conti caught in it. And that's something that you can see. Good ball movement against a zone is going to make the zone shift and flex and move, and it unfortunately gets people caught in 3 seconds in shooting space. Fortunate if you're the offense.
It's Lizzie Fox this time with the free position on the left hash, and she takes it to the cage off the crossbar. Looked like she didn't get all of it. It looked like she might have got hit or deflected a little bit on there, but it still go off the crossbar.
We'll take it, and Conti with the ground ball pickup. Again, so consistent. Olivia Conti right there. just doing what she does as a defensive leader.
Wednesday nights on Lac Sports Network, it's CAA Press Pass. We'll bring you all the latest news and notes from around the conference and prepare you for the biggest games of the week on the men's and women's side. CAA Press Pass on Lac Sports Network every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Towson gets it down to the zone.
It's cut right there. They definitely have some better moving, some better cuts. They're getting it's getting JMU turned around a little bit. It just depends on what they're choosing to feed and what, if they would want to go for a drive or if they want to drain the shot clock.
They've only scored 1 goal apiece, but the offense feel like they're both running a little bit smoother than they were at the start of the game.
Yeah. And again, I think they've settled into the game. They now know what they can expect from their opponent. It's not a surprise anymore.
Oh,
Ooh.
Nice catch in front, but another save by Doherty.
That was a
Thornton
great
once
handle.
again turned away.
Great handle from her inside. It's just, again, it's finishing. I think if she can challenge her mid and low, she'll find a little more success, but that was a great handle inside.
Yeah, Thornton as a freshman, a really good dodger and shooter, just has to get a little bit better in front of the cage and being more, she's been more aggressive, just has to finish.
Yeah.
And JMU moving quickly there. That's Charlotte Haggerty with the shot. And she gets it back quickly once again, but gets swallowed up by some defenders. Gets it out somehow. Dodge and then deciding to pass up the shot.
Towson's definitely getting a little frustrated right now, and from the shooting space calls of what's going on. I think Conti's a little frustrated. She thought she was close enough to the player that it should not have been called a shooting space. I mean, that's up for the officials.
Have to be within a stick length for that not to be a shooting space. So interesting call there.
Good stick. Nice little block right there by Chenoweth.
On the free position, that's Charlotte Haggerty who got swallowed up there by Chenoweth and did a nice job of coming in and helping. (6-2) JMU. Towson looking to cut into that lead once again. Get the Tigers and get something working here once again on offense. Dougherty's made a couple good saves in a row now.
She has, but again, Towson's definitely taking it to her a little bit more and actually testing Dougherty, which is great for them. I think you're going to see, hopefully, That is a hit to the face. Yeah, that's a cross check right there. We might get a card, we might not. I don't know if she's pulling for one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought I saw one, but I don't think I did. It's close.
Yeah, that defender just has to sit down more. I mean, I understand what she's trying to get the charge. I get it. Yep. Salmonte's not the tallest of players, being about 5'3", so you really got to sit down as a defender on her.
But she does get it in the free position, and unfortunately unable to convert on that. JMU possession. Doesn't look like Salmonte even got a shot off there.
No, I don't think so.
Too many sticks in one spot. Trying to be aggressive, though, a little more aggressive than they were in the first half.
Yeah, she's taking it in. I mean, I definitely think she's taking the looks. I think there is some frustration right there. You can see on her body language just in terms of the defense getting in on her. So she can handle that. I mean, she's been through this before, so it's just kind of, again, getting lost in the moment, taking good shots, getting her hands free, and seeing, again, what other openings are, too.
I mean, Towson's had some opportunities. I mean, they haven't been blown out in this game by any stretch of imagination. Yeah,
they're definitely getting the looks. I think their halftime speech, whatever coach said to them, has been working. Now it's just about finishing.
There is McDaniel who shoots it high. Backed up by Brennan. Starts things up once again for JMU. 40 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Haven, who works her way through some defenders and draws the foul.
We're going to get a slash call there. I don't know if something else from the third official, but I mean, one of the things you're seeing JMU find success on, they're dodging from high and low, and I think that's something that Towson could kind of pull into their playbook. If they can get some crease dodges as well as some high dodges, they'll see more. I mean, you can see it right here. Hannah Haven coming from this side. You had Maddie McDaniel on the last crease roll. If you can vary up your points of attack, you're just going to find so much more success because the defense can't cover everything.
Right. We saw them do that a couple times in this game and get a couple goals, which is the only really couple times they've done it with the 2 goals. So there's your result. And it's Haven with the free position out the center. She will take the shot. Looked like he either went off Keating or the post. But JMU still gets the rebound, and they have a fresh shot clock. Possession clock, excuse me.
I know, I do the same thing. I say it all the time. I'm used, you work with guys' games, it's a shot clock. Right? Women's games, it's possession clock. So
it's a
natural.
clock.
It's a clock.
It's time.
It's on. Yeah, you got 70 seconds on it. So
right.
that's what we got.
Fox from the top, taking it down to the left side and into the middle, working it around to Haven.
And again, they're doing a good job dodging against this zone.
There's the shot,
nice look.
pass, and score. JMU puts another on the board. That's Kelsey Reed in the middle. The dish from Haven. Reed's second goal today. Reed's 9th of the season, and JMU increases the lead.
And I think that is that's the end result of moving the ball well, moving individuals well. They had the zone spinning. You know, they had players flexing in, they had players going out, not marking. There was 3 people that went to Hannah Haven right there, which led to an open player in the middle in Reed. And I just think, again, that's a great set that Coach Shelley Claes-Bockham is going to be excited about, of how they moved it, how they moved the zone, how they finished. That's a nice look.
And Reed was quick there.
Yeah.
She didn't take time to gather it. She just turned and fired, which I thought if she took any more time, she would have been enveloped by the
Yeah, they would have
defense.
collapsed on her. The zone definitely would have collapsed. That was a great finish. And again, you have players that have played together. They're confident and comfortable. It was just that's a really nice set. It's probably the nicest goal we've seen so far today.
Yeah, Reed's another Duke that's really stepped up as a leader this year. And both these teams talking about how it's more been a collective approach, which I think when you have a turnover and you lose some seniors is important in terms of having leadership come from different angles, different classes even, and stepping up.
It's a really nice thing when you have multiple people leading, because when someone has an off day, or if, you know, some people relate to a different kind of leader. So it's great when you have it all. And Shelley and Sonia both said that for their teams, is that they have, you know, they have quiet leaders, they have loud leaders, they have people on the field, hardcore leaders. So you just need people to cover all your bases for your team.
We have JMU with another draw control victory. And there is the pass and shot. Bounces a little slow. Like you mentioned, I think the bouncing has been a little bit of an adjustment for both these sides. Yeah. Good look into the middle. Tough catch, though, there.
Yeah, Towson was a nice job. They had everyone inside the middle right there. Fortunately, they're going to get, you know, whether it's a push to the body or a check to the head, they're going to have it.
Rachel Mady has been active as when she's been in there, the freshman from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. She'll take the free position with 16 minutes to go. And it's Mady who does score. Mady's 6th goal of the season, giving JMU an 8-2 lead.
That was a nice shot. You know, her stick has a little bit of a late release. I think you could see right there in cage, Kylie Keating thought it was going to go one place, and then all of a sudden it sniped down low, not where she thought it was going to go. It's just a little bit of a late release.
What I liked about our conversation with Shelley Claes-Bockham is she goes, "We have entertaining freshmen." I'm like, what does that mean, entertaining freshmen? She goes, "They're funny. They're not afraid to have the spotlight or to say something that's going to make everybody laugh," which I think is really important for a program. When you have athletes like that aren't afraid to put themselves out there and sort of break the stress, the tensity, and you have a class do that. And in terms of freshmen that are brave enough to do that, and then it shows on the field because they're confident enough to say, hey, I can do this too.
Absolutely. It just lightens the mood. You know, we always joke about freshmen not knowing what they don't know. They don't know that they should be stressed in this game.
They don't know any better.
No, they don't know that this game could determine the entire conference season. So they're just like, I'm playing a game that I love with people that are fun. Like, let's go.
Yeah, that youth. Gets all a little bit more complicated as you get older, so
yeah,
enjoy it while it lasts,
this is my last
freshman.
game. There's more pressure. I have to be a leader.
Yeah.
I've heard it all as a coach. They're all like, God, I wish I was a freshman again. Meanwhile, the freshmen are like, I do not want to be a freshman anymore. I want out.
It's catch-22,
Yes.
as they say. Towson takes over, looking to cut into the 8-2 lead. JMU with 6 different goal scorers thus far. That spread out attack that we've been hearing about and have seen thus far this year.
So it looks like they're getting organized into kind of more of a set play. You can see people moving around to locations where they need to be. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of a set right here.
JMU defense has been very impressive thus far. Nice
Good
pass
look.
in the middle and
Okay.
turn, and the goal. Good look and a great finish there for the Tigers. Cutting into that big lead that JMU had.
Yeah, that was a good look. You know, you had Thornton.
Gabby Biondi with the goal.
Thornton was up top. You knew, again, they were looking to get set up into something, and they did a nice job right there at the crease work.
So Towson mixing things up a little bit. Gabby Biondi listed on the roster at defense, but getting her way and a nice finish there in
A little
front.
Twizzler action going on. Okay.
Her first goal of the year, not too bad.
And when you're a team that's kind of trying to find your consistency, if you're a good coach, which Sonia LaMonica is, you try different things. You know, if someone's got a good handle but they're a defender, you throw them down an attack and see what they can do. And I give her credit, you know, give someone a chance, an opportunity to see if you can shake it up.
Provided a spark of finish in front of the cage, which is something that they've tried to do in this half and haven't really been able to do it.
Yeah.
Solid
look.
She saw one of her teammates, Carrie Thornton, probably try to go high a couple times. She goes, I'm going to go low and test Dougherty down there, and it worked. 8-3 JMU, 15 minutes to go. Second straight draw control here for Towson. Looking to gain a little bit of momentum back and see if they can make a run in the last quarter of this game.
That was Sammy Chenoweth. I mean, usually she's on the circle going for those draw controls, but now taking it. She's doing a good job. She's feisty and aggressive and getting Towson the ball they need.
She's doing it all, as they say.
Yeah.
So this JMU defense, definitely a formidable foe for any CAA team this season.
Now you're seeing Natalie Samonti kind of has moved inside. Shelby Stacks up top. Thornton is still at the point, so she's doing a good job up there with Thornton's sister down low. Actually, she's moved up high as well. So they're looking for some different
combinations.
Yeah, they're looking for something else to click.
Thornton dodging up
There
top,
it is.
and she scores, hits the back of the net. The sophomore out of Stony Brook makes it an 8-4 game. So after the JMU flurry, we had a Towson flurry trying to get back into this one.
They're doing a nice job right here. Again, whether they need to settle down or they just need to be like, hey, let's go. You don't know what that spark is, but they've definitely gotten it. You know, she took a couple of dodges in the first half, which weren't so successful. I think they were a little set up, and so the defense could shift. And here, a couple quick steps, gets her hands free, and just takes it.
Takes it, shoots it, and scores. And Towson feeling a little bit more momentum here. You know, Thornton, someone who did it last year, the CAA rookie team. She sees the field very well and had some great moments in some games this year. And definitely trying to move her around. Like you just mentioned, she's someone they've tried to move around a little bit to find the right spots. And right now, it worked.
And it's good. I mean, you just had right now 2 sophomores back-to-back score goals. It takes the pressure off of your juniors and seniors when your sophomores are scoring. And if they can keep that up, it will open up your older players for shots.
McDaniel does come down using all of her reach there for that draw control, which was a bigger one as Towson was going on a little bit of a run. Well, our next CAA game of the week is Friday, April 12th. It's a doubleheader. 2 conference matchups back-to-back. We've got Delaware taking on William & Mary, followed by Towson, the same Towson team visiting Elon. That's 2 CAA games Friday at 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern, only for free right here on Lac Sports Network. See JMU here with 60 seconds on the shot clock and slowing it down a little bit now with that 4-goal lead. It was 6 a few minutes ago.
Yeah, they're looking for those openings for the zone. Again, you have your 3 players down low that are kind of covering middle and the players cutting around the crease, and you have your high players. You have 4 kind of from the arms of the 8 meter. So I think right now JMU is just trying to figure out where's going to be our best course of attack.
There's the pass into the middle, turning and firing and scoring is Reed once again. We saw that combination, Haven to Reed, a few minutes ago, and we see it again. JMU once again adds to their lead.
That's a really good look. Again, Hannah Haven has vision. Not only is she a good dodger, she can feed. You can tell her hands are up, her eyes are up. She naturally sees Kelsey Reed, and again, love the extension on that shot. You know, jump shot right there, but she gets her hands up. She doesn't hit defenders. It's a great look.
And she had a great feel there, Reed. And we talked about that, the goal she had about 2 minutes ago, and she turned and fired and scored. This time she keeps curling around and scores with 2 defenders sort of on her back hip there. Welcome back to Centara Park, everybody. Tom Eschen here alongside Liz Robert Shaw in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Taking a look at Molly Dougherty, who 8 goals this season and has been very impressive thus far in this one as well. 8 saves in this game. I don't know what I'm talking about. But as for this season, she's been very good as well. She has a 9.43 goals against average, saving 52% of the shots she's faced. Towarton Award watch list. Defensive Player of the Week for the CAA against Penn State, where she had 19 saves against Penn State, always one of the better programs in the country. So she's such a good backbone to that defense, who already has so much talent and so much experience.
Yeah, and she's definitely made some really nice saves today, especially high. A couple of those crease rolls that Carrie Thornton's come around. I know she wishes she had back. But Molly Doherty's done a good job of just kind of being a nice anchor back there defensively.
And we see JMU take over on the draw control after coming out of the Towson timeout following the JMU goal. Like JMU, in a much better rhythm offensively, getting those cutters through, a lot of movement, looking much more fluid.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of again, they're cutting hard. They're keeping the middle clean for the most part. There's moments it's a little crowded, but you'll see there's going to be bigger openings for those crease rolls like that one from Maddie McDaniel or high from Hannah Haven, who is going to look inside.
McDaniel just with 3 defenders on her. Didn't look like it because she's about a few inches taller than everybody else, but they did a good job of finding her and dislodging the ball.
Yeah, and Towson needed that. They needed that good collapse defensively, and they got it. You know, I don't think it would have gone well for them if they had let that goal in right there. So that's a great defensive stand.
Try to make things work a little bit here. They're going to have to pick things up a little bit, as JMU's defense has been pretty stout thus far. About 50 seconds left on the shot clock. Caitlin Thornton looking over the field from the top.
You can see the Towson players are definitely looking to the middle. So I don't know if they're expecting cuts from their teammates, if they're looking at the shot clock to drain it down a little bit. But you can see they're definitely keeping their eyes to the middle, which tells me they're not going to be driving necessarily as much until they do. Until you see someone like a Caitlin Thornton take it, you know, Natalie Samonti. So
and their spacing is something that's really sticking out right now as well, especially on the outside and sort of waiting for those cutters to go through and giving them, looks like, enough space from that collapsing JMU defense. And there is the shot and a little bit of a change up there from Thornton, and it's good past Doherty.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good change. She's feeling good about it. She's feeling confident, and she's got to keep shooting. That's what Towson needs, their hot hands to stay hot and keep shooting.
So Thornton, once again, her second goal of the game, or her second goal in the last few minutes here, sort of putting the pressure on a bit as Towson looks to come back 9-5 right now. A 4-goal game, which has sort of been all game long. That 4-goal deficit is something that Towson hasn't been able to get over the hump, but still a nice goal from Thornton.
And it was, I mean, if you're Coach LaMonica, you're feeling good about that set. We got the ball, we maintained possession, we didn't have any turnovers, and we got a goal out of it. So I feel like, oh, we got the sisters talking it out right here. But that's where I feel like you're going to see those sets. And if they can put a couple more of those together, string them in, there's still 10 minutes left in this game. They need to get over, like you said, that 4-goal hump.
The sisters, really. I have 3 sisters myself, so I've seen conversations like that. They played some sports together, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. They're a little bit contentious, which is what it's all about.
Hopefully that was a good one, being like, just give me the ball.
Right,
She's saying, just give me the ball.
She goes, just give me the ball. Let's do this. Come on. JMU getting it off the draw control and looking initially in transition, but they've done that quite a bit and sort of taken their time. But Haven looking to be a little more aggressive. And it's Towson picking it up once again. That's Gabby Biondi.
She's got a goal and a ground ball.
I know. She's all over the field. About 10 minutes to go here. 4-goal game. So Towson's kept this one interesting. So far even. Four goals apiece in the second half. We haven't changed the deficit since we've hit the second half here. And Towson once again looking to cut into that 4-goal deficit. Towson has 11 caused turnovers today.
I mean, that's strong. For a team that, you know, maybe hasn't been getting all the wins that they've won in the win-loss column, what they're doing defensively, getting those caused turnovers and holding team. I mean, right now you're holding JMU to 9. That's a win in their category right now. They just need to see that start to, you know, get to that win-loss column.
Towson, a team at 2-8 overall, looking for a few bright spots. That one sails wide of Doherty. But Towson retains possession with about 40 seconds to play, 40 seconds on the possession clock. There's Thornton. Thornton's had Lauren Duvall on her pretty much all game long, and Duvall's done a nice job.
Towson's definitely being patient, trying to find a matchup that they like. I think you're going to see, again, some more dodging going on, but that's where they just need to get some more cutters happening as well.
10 seconds on the shot clock. It's Thornton trying to get a dodge in there. Can't find one. That defense just too strong with 3 seconds to go, and possession goes to James Madison. So a good defensive stand there by the Dukes to sort of stop that run in its tracks for Towson.
And if Towson wants to find that success, they need to get back to the hard movement off ball. Too many defenders are able to watch those dodgers and slide and cut down the lanes, to be honest with you. So I think that's just one thing Towson can continue to improve on. And JMU is doing a nice job down there.
9-5, JMU leading. Tom Eschen alongside Liz Robert Shaw here for you here on Lac Sports Network, our CAA game of the week. About 8 minutes to go. JMU's first ACC or CAA game, excuse me, of the year, and JMU's second CAA game of the year, rather. Towson's first CAA game of the year. JMU beating Delaware on Friday night, 10-3. So JMU looking to go 2-0 in conference play here in the first weekend.
And JMU is going to go man up right now. So Meg Lynch got hit with a check to the head call. So you're going to see right now JMU for 2 minutes of being man up.
So with the 4-goal lead, I'd imagine you sort of get that possession clock down a little bit and work for a goal a little bit later on, or you just sort of be aggressive here?
You know, every coach is going to differ. You're going to have some that are just going to go right for it, get into their set and let them, go with it. Others want to kind of tire out of defense. I think it depends on the game you're in, how you're feeling. I think obviously they're going to take a little bit of time off, but if you're JMU, you want to score. I mean, there's no doubt about in this possession they want to get a goal. And
Towson has scored. They just scored, so you would think JMU's got a little bit more of a sense of urgency rather than if they had, gone on a run themselves.
Right.
60 seconds left on the shot clock now, possession clock. JMU looking to be aggressive here, and there it is. There is the goal there to make it 9-5, 10-5 rather. Logan Brennan gets the goal once again for the Dukes.
They had a little bit of sloppy play in the beginning. Glad it wasn't a turnover. I'm sure that's what the coaches are thinking. But again, they got the look that they wanted to get. They have one of their strongest players in Logan Brennan taking that crease roll, feeling good about it. The slide wasn't able to get there in time. And that's a good look, man up look. Towson has to now battle back. They don't want to let this game get away from them.
That's a matchup with Sammy Chenoweth, who we sort of had our eyes on all game long. And Logan sort of got the better of her there to the most part.
And whenever you're man down defensively, slides that are typically there aren't there when you're man down.
Right.
And so, she may have been thinking that her teammate was going to be coming down, that whether it was Conti or, whoever it was next to her, whether it was Aaron Williams, they may have thought she was going to slide down. And unfortunately, in man down situations, there tends to be a lot of communication breakdown. So you'll see goals like that happen.
When you have a younger roster, younger team, sometimes the communication, like you said, doesn't happen as often. So it's 10-5, JMU now, 7:37 to play. There is McDaniel once again, who's been a giant in that draw control circle. She's got 8 so far.
She's been outstanding. I mean, she's been outstanding all year. I know that Coach Claes Bacham is so excited about what she can do for them this year and in the future. So, good for her for really getting after this and bringing a new dynamic to the team and the draw controls.
Yeah, last year she finished with 23. They more of the community draw control, and she's got 8 today. So that just tells you 61 draw controls coming into the afternoon, and just you can tell the talent and just the impact she's had on this game.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just something you don't even see JMU worrying about the draw control. You can tell the body language. They're like, Addie's gonna get it. We feel good about it.
Another nice pass there from Haven, finding Haggerty in the middle, and JMU takes the 11-5 lead.
Hannah Haven is definitely showing her vision, as a feeder, not just a goal scorer, and she's seeing those inside cutters. And again, against the zone, you're going to find that a lot, those inside marks. And right now, the inside players for JMU are doing a really good job of finishing these shots.
That was a tough pass and a tough shot on both ends.
The one thing is that we've always talked to players, and coaches will tell their players, listen, if someone feeds you inside, it's because they think you can shoot it. So take the shot. Have confidence that you're open, that you have your hands free, and take that shot. And that's something JMU's done very well, whether it was Kelsey Reed or right there Charlotte Haggerty.
11-5 JMU enjoying their lead, as you can tell, here with 6:48 to play, doing some dance moves. Which, if you're up 11-5, I guess you can dance.
Yeah.
6:48 to play here. Harrisonburg, Virginia at Centera Park. The defending national champions, defending CAA champions, JMU looking better and better as this game's gone on.
They have. I think they're going to look and feel good about this game and the way it's starting out. You know, obviously if everything holds in the next 6 minutes, but it's a good start for them. In conference, I know they played Delaware and had a good win, but going 2-0 on a weekend when, you know, you've had to play back-to-back, I think it gets some confidence, again, for a younger team offensively. They'll feel good about it.
Think about this rivalry between these two schools. You know, Towson hasn't beaten JMU now since 2016, that CAA championship game, so you got to believe that that's got to be in the back of their minds and motivated as you get closer to the CAA tournament. Maybe the possible matchup looms there depending on what happens. But there's a nice takeaway there. Reina Del Tuva, the interception. And we have Towson in transition looking to cut into that 6-goal lead.
Yeah, you know, talking with Coach LaMonica, I think that's something that it was interesting when we first asked her thoughts. She's like, we have to focus on ourselves. And I think whenever you're having a season that's a little bit more challenging, you do have to look inward before you can even think about your opponent. So while, believe me, every player is looking, you know, every Towson player is looking at JMU player and thinking, I want to beat you. Right now, I think the coaching staff for Towson is thinking, we need to be better. We want to be our best selves. I don't care who we're playing. And they're going to continue to foster that environment. Yeah,
I thought that was interesting that she talked about her practice schedule this week. She said, well, for, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're pretty much going to focus on Towson. That's it. We're going to focus on ourselves and look inward, and then we'll look outside at JMU.
And you'll see a lot of the better teams doing that. You know, if you talk to the coaching staff at Stony Brook with Joe Spallina, if you talk to Kathy Reese down at Maryland, they focus on them. They definitely scout their opponent, but it's about them. It's about what they're doing. Same with Boston College. How are we playing? And I think if you can master yourself, then you're making other teams learn how to scout and play against you rather than always trying to morph to who you're playing against.
Here is Del Tuva off the free position. And it's a little bit wide off the bounce. Dougherty a little frustrated. She couldn't get that one in the stick. Less than 5 minutes to play now. JMU up 11-5. Towson with possession.
Oh.
Winding up and firing his stack.
Going for that riser. Went a little high.
A little crow hop in there for that one. Something extra on there. Official stop play for a moment and restart. There is Stack again, looking to be aggressive.
A false start on that play. So anytime there's a free position that happens anywhere in the critical scoring area, you have to wait for a whistle to be blown by an official.
As the officials wait, you can watch and stay tuned for later tonight, Lacrosse Now, the only place you can get a complete roundup from the entire lacrosse world every night. Lacrosse happens, as we know, 365 days a year. It really does. And we have you covered on all of them every day with news, highlights, analysis you can't find anywhere else. Lacrosse Now every night at 9 Eastern only on LAC Sports Network. I do appear on that show quite often. Most nights.
Self-promo. You're like, I'm here. I'm here.
In case you guys want to watch, I don't know. I mean, tune in. It's fun. We have a good time. JMU taking over here with about 4.5 minutes to play, up 11-5.
I mean, here's where I think you can see, and I don't want to speak for Coach Clay Spacca, but this is where I think you're going to see them work the clock, and again, good decisions. Do we see a good look? Do we see that open player, like right there? Good drive.
Spin.
No, that's a good look. They want to find quality shots. They're going to need that as they go through the conference. They're going to need that when they get to the tournament.
That was Daria Lucchese there with the spin and the shot. Getting some time here.
And you can see again right now, Towson's in a man-down situation. So they're going to look. A little aggressive by Conti right there, but I can see where they're going to put some pressure on the ball so they can't find easy scoring looks, easy feeds.
lull here, and now we're going. Restart. JMU sharing the ball very well thus far today, led by Hannah Haven.
And Towson's doing a good job right now trying to kill this penalty. You know, they're putting a little bit of pressure on ball, like I said, not to make it easy for feeds or dodges. And then, again, trying to cover up that middle, trying to not allow any more of those feeds inside.
Backing it in a little bit more, especially during this situation.
Oh,
There is the open in front, and a nice save by Keating. Scramble for the ground ball, and it is picked up by Towson. Scoop pass, and they do get the outlet in the clear, and we're off and running.
Fast break opportunity right here, man down.
The sun
Still a 4v3.
shining brightly as we got the goal there by Towson. Natalie Salmonti at the doorstep at the end of that one.
That was just a textbook 4v3. I mean, great job by the defense making that stop, especially being man down against JMU. Pushing the ball in transition, 2 quick passes, a nice little finish right there. I mean, that's what you want to see from your offense.
Very well done by Towson after getting the turnover and taking it the other way, and they're still fighting in this game. 11-6 now with 2:47 to play, and Salmonti getting another goal. Her second of the game. She's got 3 points today with 2 and assist. Her 9th multi-goal game this season, as you can see.
And again, I think Towson can build on these things. Like Coach LaMonica said, they've seen moments where they're playing great lacrosse. That's a really nice transition right there, a solid defensive set. They can build on that. It's just the consistency component.
And I think looking across the rest of the CAA now, if we look for Towson, and we know JMU, they're going to, looks like, I mean, to be 2-0 after this weekend. But looking at Towson, I mean, look, they're going to be able to compete and I think do pretty well as they head to the rest of their CAA schedule here. As they go through, you know, Elon next week, William & Mary, and then you get to Hofstra.
Definitely. I mean, that's the nice thing about this conference is that it can be anyone's game any day, but that's where they're going to do a lot of learning. You know, they're not facing the top 20 opponents that they face in the first half of their season.
Yeah, JMU got another ranked opponent that they're facing, and they face some really good teams in their non-conference schedule, and that's, like you said, going to make them ready for some of these other CAA teams who might have struggled a little bit in their non-conference as well.
Right.
Another benefit of the conference. Another shot there by Towson, turned away. JMU is going to take over with about 2.5 minutes to go here in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
And JMU's not going to be in any hurry. You know, they have clock to kill. They have time to bring it up. I think you're going to want to see them make good decisions, again, whether it's in clearing it, when they get it down to the offensive end. I think you're going to see some ball possession. You know, they want to feel good about how they're going to finish this game.
Now, we were talking about Towson and competing in this conference. Is this, do you think, as they set through the rest of their conference schedule, something that JMU can dominate as you get game by game? This is a rivalry game, so Towson was going to come here and compete, and they did. But can JMU kind of float through until we get the championship weekend in the CAA?
You know, they have the opportunity to run the table. They definitely do. They have the confidence. They aren't the same team as they were last year by any means. But this conference will give them, the next couple games will give them an opportunity to work to get there. The one thing though is you got to watch out is that if there's a day you don't show up, and you see that this year from different teams, happened early on with a lot of teams, but if they aren't paying attention, if they're having some of these silly turnovers that Coach Claes Bockham talked about, you can get tripped up by any one of the teams on your schedule that you weren't, especially, you know, going up to Hofstra, which is always, you know, a game that has a lot of emotion because that's where Shelly used to coach. I mean, you just got to make sure you do the things you need to do well. Shooting, taking care of the ball. If they can do that, they can run the table. Nice
save there by Kylie Keating with a point-blank shot for Logan Bregan for JMU. Like you mentioned, the turnovers, JMU does have 17 turnovers today, which you're right, is something that we should really keep an eye on. And something you also might have noticed while watching the broadcast, a lot of the headbands the JMU players are wearing are bright green. That's for the Headstrong Foundation. And if you guys aren't aware, Stephanie Finley, as we do get a goal, we'll get back to that in a moment, Natalie Salmonti scores yet once again a hat trick for Salmonti as Towson keeps on fighting in this game. They're back to 11-7, a 4-goal deficit once again. So sort of keeping that 4-goal deficit in play as we go on here. So as I mentioned with Stephanie Finley, a former JMU player who graduated back in 2015, and her story, fortunately, she was diagnosed with extremely rare cancer, and Towson, rather, JMU found out when they were going to play Towson last year that she was going to have her first surgery, and she then obviously started the Game Hair Havoc, which the braids you see some of the players on JMU having, and Finley, when she played, was a big part of that, and sort of became the expert braider on the team. And she started Game Hair Havoc, which sort of went viral around the lacrosse world on sort of the mustache madness for the women side of things. And it's really cool to see the impact it's had. And they started earlier in the season, and since then they've raised $171,902, and they had a goal of $170,000 via the Game Hair Havoc fundraiser. So pretty cool to see, and the impact it's made on this JMU team, and the impact it made last year. One of her memories during surgery was the championship, and lacrosse really helping her through all that.
It's so great when you see players do something out of tragedy. Obviously, no one ever wishes anything wrong or ill with anyone, but to see a player step up and do it and make the impact that she's making and raising the money and just bringing awareness. You know, you saw all the top players all across women's lacrosse, professional lacrosse, Team USA, everyone was getting a part of it. It was really great to see.
And a good note, a positive note of the impact that she's made on a lot of people to leave this game on today in the rivalry game with JMU beating Towson 11-7. Once again, just like they did in that championship game last year, JMU getting the better of their rival, which is always a fun one to watch. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hannah Haven, I think, is someone who sticks out to me today big time. 2 goals, 3 assists. She really was a facilitator, especially in that second half.
I thought she was great. I think she really stepped up as a leader. She showed the vision that you expect from an experienced player. She picked apart the Towson defense with those 3 feeds into the middle with goals. She did a great job. She's someone who I think they're going to continue to look for and play well throughout the course of the conference play.
We saw Maddie McDaniel be huge in the draw control, and of course that James Madison defense putting up a fight as well.